Fantasy people, welcome back. It was another shocker for me. The captain's curse continues, and that is now Mills 54 into Lockie Neale 67 in my last 2 weeks as captain. I'm actually interested to know how many people that's happened to, so if that happened to you, let me know in the comments, and I do feel your pain. This week in the video, we're just going to have a quick look at my team, have a look at how we went this week and what we plan to do for the future. I scored a 22.65, which has dropped me in the rankings from 22nd 2 weeks ago to 52nd due to those poor captains. Other than that, I think the team's doing pretty well. Most of the players scored pretty well outside of those captains, so it's a difficult one. It feels a little bit unlucky, but that's how it is sometimes. So I think the number one player for the week has to be Mitch Duncan. He's really starting to fire lately. That's 3 100 plus scores in the last 3 weeks. So he's starting to really pick up form. And in the last quarter of that game against Melbourne, that was elite junk time performing. That was fantastic. We had a huge bounce back score from Callum Mills. Where was that when you were my captain last week? I need to give a huge shout out here to Zach Merritt. So I bought him in 3 weeks ago and he's given me a 3-round average of 125. And that's really exactly what you want at this time of year when you bring in that sort of maybe underperforming premium. I was very hesitant to bring him in at the time as he hadn't had the best of years. And I didn't want someone to come in and give me like a 90 average. So he's been fantastic in the last 3 weeks since I've brought him in. And yeah, he's looking like every bit just a full-on keeper really at this stage. The defense was quite underwhelming this week. It's probably the area that I need to play with the most. I'm toying with the moving either Dacos or Jaden Short to probably like a Sinclair or a Doherty type, but I'm just not really sure. I can't decide which one to go first. I really prefer the Dacos role, but like over the Short role. I don't like that Short midfield role, but Short does have the Kangaroos this week. It's sort of a hard one to figure out which to play there. It feels like whatever I do will be the wrong decision, but that's how it goes sometimes. You've also got James Sicily there as probably another option that could be a trade, but he is fun to watch and he's got some favourable matchups, so I'd probably favour keeping him at this point. The mids were good for the most part. I just can't get a captain, man. Like, it's killing me. I cannot pick a captain. I can't pick a vice. I can't pick a captain. It's unbelievable. Kelly's been poor for me since I've brought him in. I really don't want to talk about that trade too much. He's averaging just 100, and that's actually the second time I've had him this year. So I actually offloaded him early in the season, and yeah, I've actually brought him back in, and he's done worse. And to think that I could have had Rory Laird at that point when I picked him up probably 5 or 6 weeks ago, it's unbelievable. Yeah, I got sucked in. Probably never again territory for me there, Josh Kelly. What else have we got? So probably a question for the viewers actually on that captain thing. So who is your go-to captain each week? Who is everybody picking up as their captain? I can't get one at the moment, so if somebody could help me out there, that would be fantastic. Let me know in the comments. Who's your go-to? Or maybe you just rotate it every week. Maybe it's not really a thing like that. So this week, obviously, Oliver misses. He's got to go if he does. I know they're saying that it's a possibility that he's staying, but at this point, I'm treating it as he's not going to play. For me, it's going to be to Jack Steele. He's sort of the only one. I think going up to Rory Laird, it's like too pricey. I'm going to go for Jack Steele. He'll come in. He'll become maybe a safe captain option for me too, which I'm kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone there. I mean, at the moment for me, like an 80 is a good captain score, so I'll take that at this point. Moving on to the rucks, they're really interesting at the moment, and they're probably a place where you could get a bit of a bounce. We've now got scope to bring in English and Gawn. I don't particularly like Gawn off that injury, and English does have a tough matchup this week with Ryder and Marshall, so I think at this point for me, with the other things I need to do, I can leave them for another week. Darcy Cameron did spend a lot of time forward. I don't know if anyone noticed that in that recent game. He had to kick 3 goals for that 80 score. So he is really, really starting to drop off, I feel, and he's saved his score a couple of times. He's definitely a worry. The one that I like that's coming back this week is Bayley Smith. I think he'll have a point to prove with everything that's happened with him over the last few weeks with the suspension and the off-field stuff as well. So other forwards, I don't have a serious problem there in the forward line, to be honest. Like, nothing blatantly stands out. I mean, I could move on Himmelberg. He's one that he's getting thrown around a bit. He's had that half-back role. He seems to score well in the half-back role, but when he gets moved around, it becomes a little bit different. So I don't have a major problem with holding him. But yeah, like I said, if he does get thrown into the ruck or thrown forward, that becomes like a real issue, and you definitely want to get rid of him. But overall, I think I'm better off upgrading my defence. Smith is definitely the play that I would like to do of those players coming back, but it's probably got to be the defence first. Interestingly, Dylan Moore had a bit of a CBA bump. He took, I think, second most of the Hawthorn mids CBAs, so that would be something to monitor. I don't think that that's going to be a play for me. I think it's too risky at this point in the season for me to chase someone like a Dylan Moore, and not enough of an upside. I'd rather just take a Bayley Smith, even though he's more expensive. But for coaches who are maybe outside the top 100 and want to attack that top 100, it's definitely a play, I think. So if Oliver does play, I would consider trading Macrae to Steele. Like, that's how close I am to wanting how much I want to get Steele in my team. I would trade Macrae. The role at the moment for Macrae is pretty awful. He looks a bit disinterested at times. So yeah, that's a play as well. As for the captain, I don't really know who I'm going to go this week. So if everyone could give me some tips. If I bring in Jack Steele, it's probably going to be Jack Steele who's going to take the C. Other than that, I'd probably roll with a Mills or a Brayshaw, as I like their ceiling scores. They'll probably be the vice captains. And I think that's about it for the team, really. So thanks again, guys. Thanks for checking out the video, for watching it. If you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe to the channel. And I'll try to get another video out later in the week for you guys to see. So cool. Thank you, guys.